So I recently visited Collective Elevation in Bozeman, Montana, and I saw that they had these awesome rolling beds in the trays, and I asked them about how they built these. And basically they created these Unistrut frames. Here's an example of some fixed ones that they sent me also for this video. And I decided to try and make a rolling one. So this is also from them as well, the rolling one that they did here. Now, my first attempt was an utter failure. I did not build it correctly, and so I wanted to make this video to kind of show you guys what I did wrong and how to do it better. So my first stop was Home Depot. You can get everything you need there with the exception of the tray or flood tables themselves. Everything else I got came from Home Depot, and this is an example of the Unistrut right here. So the next step was cutting everything to the proper size that I needed. For me, I found the grinder worked the best, but if you're handy, you may have other options. I did try a metal blade in my miter saw as well, but whatever you decide to do, make sure that you use proper protective gear for cutting all the metal. Now there's a few different ways to attach these. I went with these spring nuts. The first time I did it, I did not use these and it failed miserably. So I think this was a good step up and in the right direction. And they're not that expensive. Now, the thing with them that is a little bit tricky is you kind of have to hold them, put pressure up, get everything in position, and then add the bolt, and then you're pushing down against the tension of the spring, which is a little bit tricky. I'm not gonna lie, this took me a little bit to get it right. And this was definitely a hassle because you're pushing up with, like in here, I'm pushing up with my left hand, pushing down with my right hand, and then trying to tighten the socket at the same time. But once you do get it started, it becomes pretty easy, and then you can adjust it and line everything up just the way you want it. And it does hold really securely once you have it in place. So if you do have access or the ability to use these, you know, and you'd have a simple socket set, I definitely think that's the way to go. Okay, so once you've built out the basic frame like you saw before, I added these casters that I had picked up at Harbor Freight a while back. And so I put those on there. They're attached at 2 points from underneath. And this was the way I put on wheels. I think I put on 6 wheels altogether. Now I also want to give a shout out to Greg Larson. He came up with another design using these connectors, and he's using this in his facilities. He's able to get 3 connections then with his casters. And one recommendation that he did make that I thought was a good one was to use larger casters. That's something I didn't do, and if I could go back and rebuild it, I totally would, because once I got the soil in there after building this bed, it was frankly really, really heavy and hard to move with that much soil in there. I put about 1.5 yards of total soil on here once I was done. But I wanted to show you guys, this is what it looked like with the tray on there, and then this is what it looks like today with the soil. You can see that it's working. It is hard to move, but because I don't have to move it very far, I'm just moving in and out, it's okay. I'm not gonna be moving it very often, it's just when I prune. So this is gonna work out great for me. Hope this helps.